It's January 2023, and I'm at the point where I'm horizontal at least 21 hours of a 24-hour period. So I would say there's 3 hours a day, like combined, that I'm moving around. It's pretty limited. Like if I'm upright, I start to feel crappy. I have never had a doctor tell me my prognosis. I've never had a doctor speak to my husband about what to expect from me or what is even going on with me now. We do have some studies on what this illness looks like to give us an educated guess on a patient's prognosis. After 2 years of illness, only 5% will recover to their full functioning. 40% are able to find improvements, though they still remain functionally impaired. About 75% with ME/CFS are unable to work, and 25% are homebound or bedbound.
We know that a large majority of people with ME/CFS are undiagnosed, and it is rarely reported on death certificates. We really need more research to understand the mortality that is associated with ME/CFS.
Most recently, in January 2023, the community mourned the loss of 32-year-old Kara Jane Spencer, a very talented singer-songwriter living with very severe ME. Knowing the risks to a person with ME can help you avoid complications. We have information from a few studies on mortality and cause of death in patients with ME/CFS. There's not enough data to conclude that this is the case for everyone with ME. Especially because the research that we currently have points to there being multiple flavors or different causes, subtypes of ME/CFS. One of the larger threats to our community is abuse and even death from medical neglect. This could be doctors who think that the patient is anorexic and therefore will not place feeding tubes, or nurses constantly coming into a patient's room in the hospital, creating all kinds of sensory overload and further crashing a patient. There's a lot of harm that comes from the lack of education and awareness about our illness and our needs. I believe the good news is that with long COVID, we now have so much more awareness of post-viral illness, ME/CFS, and all the others. There's going to be a lot more research coming out. And while there have been many suffering needlessly for decades, we may not have to suffer as severely for that much longer. That's ME/CFS. Now you can see why we don't like the term chronic fatigue syndrome. We're not resting.